Hello, everyone. Again, greetings from where I am. I'm joining you from Canada this morning on my time. And Nicola, I believe I'm good to go in terms of getting us started. I am absolutely delighted to welcome each one of us to today's webinar. I know that some of you already have participated in the Emerge webinar series or in some of the ELICE conference series. And just in case you cannot hear me well or there's an issue, kindly add that on the chat as we move along. I have a very, very limited space to really introduce the conference and say welcome to the series. The next 2 weeks we have collaborated with Emerge Africa to host 2 webinars. Again, I want to welcome you and also to just give you a brief review of the e-learning Innovations Conference and Expo, in short, ELICE. It's going to be held in Nairobi, Kenya, running from September the 12th to the 16th in September, and it's hosted obviously in collaboration and talents. And as you note here on this slide, this is the 4th annual e-learning Innovations Conference, and the webinar series is obviously a part of that. We lead up to the main event in September. These are some of the other events that I would like to bring to your attention. We've had webinars on Tuesdays. Obviously, today is an anomaly to that. We'll continue to have 2 more webinars for September. And then on September 3rd, for those who are in Nairobi, I wish to welcome you to the e-waste awareness walk. This is open to the public. It's a free event hosted by KICD. That means the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. And you know that there's a lot of waste being generated through the electronics we use daily, and we really want to use this walk, this particular event, to bring awareness to that, about recycling, at the same time have some fun. We were able to do that last year, and for those who joined us, I see Irene is here. It was fantastic of an event. Again, I wish to welcome those who can be there that time. Between Monday and Tuesday, September 12th and 13th, we have the pre-conference events. That's the workshops, the skill-building workshops. We have 3 of them on gamification. There's another one on mobile learning, so how to, and also there's another on IT skills and the 21st century skills. So welcome to that as well. The free events for those who register for the conference. September 13th, we'll also have a number of invited events which are to bring in understanding of studies from the corporate sector. I also wanted to mention that the conference will run for 3 days, in September 14th to the 16th. There will also be an expo in addition to the conference. We'll be able to look at different programs, products that are related to the e-learning market. So that said, I want to say we'll see the next webinar on the 30th. And these are the contact details. I welcome you to connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. If you have any questions, please send a note. So that's about it in terms of overview for the conference. And I will take this back to Nicola to guide us through the rest of this webinar. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Panina. That conference looks truly exciting, and there are also a lot of really interesting pre-conference webinars, so thank you for sharing those with us. I've added the URLs for the conference website as well as the Twitter handle for those who are interested. But now I'm going to hand over to our presenters today, who are Irene Maweu and Catherine Fortune. Just some background, Tony Carr and I have been convening a course on online facilitation as part of the Emerge Africa activities. And We facilitate as a team. Okay, we call ourselves the Dream Team, and Kath and Irene have really been making a lot of waves in our group, and their passion for online facilitation really excites us all and keeps us all motivated. So I decided, it was fitting to ask them to present for us today. We've added some information on the notes section. If you'd like some more information about the course, about Emerge Africa. But yeah, I'm going to hand over to Kath. Enjoy.
Thanks very much, Nicola, for that great introduction. And when you say that we've been making waves, that's hopefully waves in a good way. But hi, yes, I'm Catherine Fortune, and Irene and I will be presenting this session today. As you can see, it is titled Online Facilitation, the Human Element in the Web Space. And this is a very interesting aspect because you definitely need a human element in the web space. When you're going online, things don't just happen automatically, and some people think they do, and that's when things fall apart. So we are here to give you an insight into the human aspect. And just to provide a little bit of background as to who I am, I'm a senior content architect. I work at the University of Cape Town, and that is where I'm joining you from today. I work in Systems Division, which is a division of the IT department. But prior to this, I taught in a school for 11 years, and then I freelanced as an e-learning curriculum developer for almost 15 years. And I really love the online learning space. It has absolutely wonderful potential. And I'm also actually a trained musician. When I first attended UCT as a student, I was at the music school, where I did piano, flute, and percussion, with most emphasis on vibraphone and timpani. And I played flute and timpani in the orchestra for a while, but then my passion for online learning overtook that, and I very rarely actually get to play an instrument, unfortunately. And now I'm going to hand over to Irene to introduce herself. Thanks, Irene.
Thank you, Kath. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I have a privilege of knowing quite a number of you today. I am an online facilitator. I've done this for a while now, but I think I fell in love with online facilitation. Just the fact that you change people's lives without ever meeting them really makes me tick every day. Not to mention that I found a team of very dedicated people that we work together in Emerge Africa. So I am talking to you from Malindi, a town in Nairobi, at the coast of in a town in Kenya, sorry, at the coast of Kenya. So we'll be taking you through this, and we hope to make sure that we keep time. I'm a stickler for time. Thank you, Dr. Penina Lam. I know Penina for a while, so thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to present. So I will move on. We shall begin by the facilitating online course that we are facilitators in with Kath and Nicola and Tony, is one of the activities of Emerge Africa. And so far this year, we are just completing the third run of this course. We've, of course, each run has its own challenges, its own good things, and learn from every time that we facilitate these different people from different parts of Africa. Sometimes we have a lot of people from different parts of Africa. Then sometimes we have quite a number of people from the same institution. let's begin by asking, what is online facilitation? I think we mix it up with a lot of other things, and it means to make easy. And what are we making easy? We are supposed to make easy things for those that join us, the participants, and also for the other facilitators. It involves more than just online support. You have to go beyond online support. You have to read, as they say, between the lines. You have to read beyond what you see, because you can, the person, then you can't read their body language, but you can read what they write. That is really key in online facilitation. It requires specific capabilities. I think not everyone, I think most people think, oh, I can be an online facilitator, I can be this, but it requires specific capabilities. Some people think, oh, because I've been a lecturer or I've been a teacher, all due respect to the lecturers in the house and the teachers in the house, that they can be online facilitators. It requires a bit more than the face-to-face thing. It requires slightly more than that. So, and it is it's necessary with participants learning in an online environment. That is what online facilitation is. And that's what we try to better and better every day, because we learn every day as we move forward in Emerge Africa and in this facilitating online course. And of course, we make everybody's life a little bit easy and a little bit bearable. So now that said, the facilitation, the facilitating online course that we facilitate is developed by the Center of Innovation and Learning at the University of Cape Town. I think that, I believe that's where Nicola sits. It is registered as a short course at the University of Cape Town. Most people always will ask about accreditation and if the certificate that they get at the end of the course is certified or accredited, and that is why it is important to let you know that this is a short course at the University of Cape Town. The certificate on completion is issued to successful participants. Of course, the participants have to do activities that will be successful, and we actually are very strict about the completion, what the activities that have to be done until someone can be issued with a ticket. I think we try to have a middle ground, because when you do that, then people don't quite complete the activity. So we try to be strict in the nicest way possible. Participants have to complete, of course, 75% of the activities, and there are mandatory activities that have to be done. Of course, we are not to go to the details. The course participation is entirely online. We don't have any face-to-face. We don't have where someone says, because I'm in Kenya and I'm in Nairobi and you're in Nairobi, face-to-face. No, it's entirely online. It requires about 8 to 10 hours of participation a week. However, participants or the facilitators will need sometimes to put in slightly more time than that, depending on how the course goes, or how dedicated they are, or how willing they are to support others. So it's slightly that, but that is the minimum, between 8 and 10 hours. This is not a MOOC. It's not a massive open course. This is a course that is applied for and people are selected. So it's not a MOOC. So that it's different, because this one has the facilitators. Most MOOCs don't have this facilitator who follows up on you and asks you how you're doing, and asks if you're having issues, and responds to your questions or to your concerns, at least within 24 hours, as we put it in ours. Although our turnaround time is slightly shorter than that, but at least we have to respond in less than 24 hours. So that's the facilitating online course that we run. The facilitating online course is funded by Carnegie. Everybody spells or pronounces Carnegie in their own way, so whichever way you do it, I respect it. It's funded by Carnegie Corporation of New York as part of its support for Emerge Africa. As we say, Emerge Africa is the one that houses this course. Maximum of 2 free participants places per institution. So we try to limit the participation of 2 per each institution. Why? Because we want it to be to have as many people from different institutions as possible because of the learning process. Each institution sometimes does things in their own way. So if you get people from different institutions and of course different departments, then you have a good blend of the participants that are there. Additional participants, if an institution wants additional places in a run or in a cohort, then that institution will be told how much they need to pay, and a fee will be expected for the extra participants. If you have 3 and only 2 can join, then we encourage you to always ask to join the next run of the course if you know that person can wait for the next run of the course. So that's how it's done. The available free places are offered to other participants from other sectors with preference given to education, NGOs, and secondary education. So remember, we are targeting higher education institutions or people that are dealing with education or higher education. So that is the core focus of this course. Colleagues from the commercial education and training sectors and related industries such as publishing will be requested to pay a fee. Of course, we know this because of the when they are doing the registration, we know that this person is not from a higher education institution. They are coming from a different institution. So that's how, because it's quite open, so we tell them way in advance. So I hope we shall respond to the questions later so that we don't interrupt the presentation. And thank you for being patient. Shall I hand over to Kath? Do you have, can you take over now? Thank you very much. And Kath, over to you.
Thanks, Irene, for that very comprehensive overview of the course and its origins and its fundings and how it works. And now we're going to carry on and focus on the participants. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the potential participants. So who is this course actually aimed at? And as Irene mentioned on the previous slide, it's aimed primarily at change agents, educational technologists, and educators within the African higher education sector. So that is our primary target, is looking within Africa itself and specifically within the higher educational sector. It is also open to participants outside of the higher educational sector, but that is space permitting. So we first of all reserve spaces for people in that area, and then if there are spaces over, we look towards other applicants. And also, as Irene mentioned earlier on, that there is an application process and a selection criteria in place. And so you can apply to join this course, but you also need to supply a motivational statement of about 300 words as to why you would like to join this course. And then you also require a letter of support from your line manager or your superior or whoever your direct person is that you report to. And you also need to upload an updated CV. And all of this provides us with a very comprehensive sort of overview of who our potential applicants are, so that we can make sure that the people who join this course are going to derive the most benefit from it, and they are definitely going to stay the course, if you pardon the pun. They're going to not drop out partway through, and that they are going to actually be using these newfound skills within their work environment. So as you can see there, the aim and the hope is that these participants can implement these skills at their institution and or share these practices with their colleagues. So we want to make sure that the people that come on this course derive the most benefit from this. So basically, if we look at our participant profile, the people who we have had on this course, there's about a 50-50 split between South African participants and those who are from other African countries. So remember, our target area is higher education sector within Africa. So that is why you will most likely find that 50-50 split, although sometimes we do have international participants. But again, our primary concern is the African higher education sector. And you will find that the people who join us have a large variety of jobs. They are lecturers or staff or academic developers. They may be IT support people or e-learning practitioners, or they may even be facilitators of other online communities, for example, research networks. And our participants also come from very, very diverse backgrounds. So they could be an administrative person to a VC, a vice chancellor, or anything really. And that you may think is a downside, and how do we manage all these people from the very diverse backgrounds? But it's also a huge pro in that it brings together people from these diverse backgrounds, and it makes for very, very rich input into the course itself. And just another note that these people are all very busy working people. They have lives, they have professions, so the available time to actually spend on this course is pretty minimal. So they need to be very flexible, and also the way we present the course as well, and the requirements and the activities and the interaction that we require. We have to do this in a flexible way so that it accommodates people's lifestyles. And we also have some participant requirements. So we require 3 aspects really from them: time, technology, and technical skills, the 3 T's. So in terms of time, we need to let them know upfront that they would need to allocate at least 10 hours per week. And as Irene mentioned, that basically equates to spending 2 hours if you think sort of Monday to Friday on a work week. But if you really want to derive the most benefit from the course, and as you actually progress through the course, you can pretty easily find yourself spending far more than 10 hours per week. But we basically do this so that we give people an idea of what they need to commit to up front. And in terms of technology, because this is a fully online course, as Irene mentioned, they obviously need a reliable internet connection. And they need to be familiar with operating a web browser. There's no specific browser that they have to use, but as long as they have an internet connection and can manage to browse the web, they can access our learning platform and the resources. And then in terms of interacting with the resources, we require them to have basic word processing skills, because we supply some templates to them, and we also require them to type up some information and email that back to us. And we also present some of the information format. So very basic technological skills we require for them to participate. And then some other technical skills: they need to be able to send and receive emails, because that's one of our primary means of communication. They also need to be able to conduct web searches and browse the web, and also download resources. So a fairly basic set of technical skills that they require. And just in terms of past participant feedback, this is some of the feedback that we've received, and it's always been very, very positive. When people complete this course, they are just very, very positive. I wish I could actually fit more feedback onto this page, but here's just an assortment of 3. And as you can see, even from the participants themselves, they're located in different physical locations, geographically, different levels, different vocations. So a very varied mix of participants that we have on this course. And as I say, that makes for very, very rich input. So that is a little brief overview about the participants. That's one facet of human element that we have in this course. And now I'm going to hand back to Irene, who's going to tell us about the human element in this online course.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for taking us through that that session. We have the course purpose. The course purpose is to develop knowledge, skills, and attitude concerning online facilitation with application in online components, of course, and provide awareness and develop skills and tool sets that are available, and then develop knowledge and skills in designing online activities. When most of our participants come to the course, I think we always have a mixture of people who are wondering what they are supposed to be doing, and by the time we are finished with them, they actually appreciate at the pace that we take them through, how they develop the knowledge, and at what pace we take them at, the skills, and also the attitude about online facilitation. This is one of the things that I tell people, that you can never learn online facilitation in a face-to-face. So this has to be done online. So if someone tells you, oh, we are offering an online facilitation course face-to-face, there is something not right, because you have to learn how to deal with people online. As we mentioned, most of us have attended this course, so it's important. So that is the course purpose, to be able to develop your skills, the knowledge, the attitude, and also get the skills on designing your own activities. The course facilitators, these are just the ones for 2016 so far. All facilitating online course facilitators are past participants of the course. We all went through the course, and we all have different skills and careers. We all do totally different things. So the facilitators are not from a certain set. So we all mix up, and I think that is the beauty of it, because when you meet, when everybody brings in their what they know and their expertise and everything, then it becomes a dream team. And those are the ones that are there for 2016. Of course, next year when you come, you might find that some of us are not there, or someone else has been added onto the team. How we work together as the dream team, the collaboration is managed through Google Drive. We communicate using Google Hangouts, because Hangouts, you can do all sorts of things. You can chat and make calls and all sorts of things. So it's quite good to use Google. We draw announcements. One thing that we do every day, we send an announcement to remind the participants what is going to happen on that day. So we also draw the Google the announcement through Google Docs, and this can be edited by everybody. We all come together, we chip in, and then by the time it goes out into the announcement, it has thoughts from everybody and feedback from everybody. We also track the progress of the participants through Google Sheets, which we also can also edit, all of us. Actually, the one that we use is quite fancy, thanks to Kathy, who does her magic with such things. So it's quite nice. Then we have the weekly live meeting presentation created in Google Slides. And of course, the live meeting is offered here in Adobe Connect, as we are having now. This is where we have our live meeting every week with participants. So that's how we get together. Of course, not limited to this. Sometimes we also go to WhatsApp, but this is the main way we communicate with each other. Moving on, I think we have the online facilitator capabilities. What are the of an online facilitator? You have to be able to support online learning. Your social skills have to be really good, because some people think it's a joke just to have those skills. No, it's not. You really need to be good at that. Online communication skills have also to be quite good. Technical skills have to be to a certain level, and social networking skills have to also be quite good. I know that when we start this, when we are joined by participants, sometimes they say, "Oh, I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on LinkedIn, I'm not on that." And then when we show them the possibilities that are there, then everybody appreciates. So it's always good to be in the social networking. So when you are selling the idea to the participants, then they understand the benefits of these things. So I think we are going to have again to Kath to take us through the next few slides. Kath?
Thanks, Irene. And now we're going to move on to basically having a quick look at the course principles. So the principles of this course, as you can see, are made up of 3 components, and we have reflective learning, playful learning, and fostering online learning communities. So basically, reflective learning, reflection helps you take ownership of your learning process, and articulating your reflections makes your thinking available for comment and feedback. And reflection also enables participants to become aware of themselves, both as learners and facilitators. And then as far as the playful learning aspect goes, participants are encouraged to express their creativity through developing their ability to challenge, question, and explore. And we do have many playful activities embedded in the course. It's not all hard work. And then as far as fostering online communities goes, online learning communities are encouraged through developing online interaction and learning conversations amongst the participants, which happen mostly in the chat area and the forum area. The course creates awareness of the benefits of online facilitation as a step towards becoming leaders of online learning communities. And basically, the principles underpin the model. So this is a visual representation of the model. It illustrates the learning pathway that participants will travel as they progress through the course. So at each level, the participants take on a particular role and develop specific skills. So as you can see here, there are essentially 5 steps. Where it starts off with the participant arriving, they then progress in the following week onto conversing, they then go on to facilitating, and then creating, and then applying. So as they progress up these steps, we as facilitators on this course gradually hand over to them. So this is basically a scaffolded approach where at the beginning we are very supportive and we help them a lot, and then we gradually hand over to them. So as I said, each of these steps is essentially aligned to a week. So the activities actually happen over a duration of 5 weeks. However, we actually put a week 0 in front of this, which ensures that the participants will progress through each of the activity weeks successfully. So the initial week 0 is added at the start of the course, which is there to familiarize the participants with the online environment and the course delivery platform. So it's just getting their bearings the week before they actually embark on activities. And then we found that because these people are very busy, we had to actually split some of the weeks, and we have added in what we call consolidation weeks. So after week 2, there's a consolidation week where there are no new activities issued, but they just spend that week reflecting over weeks 1 and 2 of the course and catching up any outstanding tasks. Because as Irene mentioned, we require them to complete 75% of all the tasks in the course, and there are certain tasks which are mandatory. That means they are absolutely required to do those. And then each of the weeks actually have specific outcomes, and I'm not going to go into that at the moment, but this is an example of the specific outcomes which would be aligned to week 1 arriving, just to give you an idea. And at the end, we have specific course outcomes, and so participants should be able to, at the end of this course, facilitate synchronous and asynchronous online discussions, demonstrate knowledge of different facilitation strategies in response to diversity, difference, and conflict, demonstrate knowledge of the opportunities afforded by Web 2 technologies for online learning communities, and also design or adapt a short online learning activity using a range of online facilitation tools appropriately. So that is what we expect our participants to be able to achieve at the end of the course. And now I'm going to hand over to Irene again, and she's going to quickly touch on some of the aspects that we have found after running this course several times as to what works and what doesn't work so well.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. What works? We are thinking about online facilitation. The team that takes the participants through has to be dedicated, diverse, and with different backgrounds. You have to have people who think, I would say, kind of think differently in a certain way, so that when they come together, then they add a lot of value to the participants. IT support is key, because sometimes like this, you might want to do a PowerPoint presentation on Adobe Connect like today, and it doesn't work, so IT is key. Actually, it's always good if one of the team members has some IT knowledge. Relevant content for the target group. So it depends on who you're training, so you don't have irrelevant content that you're trying to give the participants. Length of a course is also another thing. If it's too long, then I think people drop out. If it's too short, then of course you don't get the what you're looking, the outcomes, the course outcomes that you're looking for. It has to be simple, easy, friendly online environment. Of course, we use Sakai as the LMS, and it is really easy to use and easy to navigate. Course delivery, a mix-up, fun, games, and social media. That has to be there, because I think there's always a child in every one of us. So there has to be a mix of fun and games and some bit of social media, because also we have to consider that we all learn in different ways. So that's why we include the fun games. Serious stuff, facilitating webinars and live meetings, that has to also be there, because then you're trying to have a season at the end of it, so they have to experience the whole spectrum of facilitating online. Assignments and activities, although we call them activities in our course, they have to be purposed with clear instructions. You have to know what the outcome, what is it that you're trying to get the participants to do at the end of that assignment, or what kind of knowledge or what kind of skills are they going to get at the end of that activity. So it's not just an activity because we need an assignment, we need them to do this. No, it has to be purposeful and very, the instructions have to be clear. Get the participants involved. We always get our participants on the third week to actually be the facilitators. Or some of them get it a little earlier and start facilitating. But by the third week, we always expect them to be facilitators, and that's how we get them involved. Of course, there are so many other ways we get them involved. Partnerships and certification is really key. During the time of the course, if there's someone who has a webinar or something like that, we always advertise and we encourage them to join the webinars or to join other workshops or other presentations that are happening. And then certification, of course, that comes from the University of Cape Town, which is very important for our course. What does not work? Untrained facilitators or tutors. If you say, oh, you know, this person has been doing this for the last 10 years, oh, let's get them online, and so you've not trained them, you actually brewing for a disaster. The facilitators have to be shown or taken through what they need to do, and preferably, like we have done, be taken through a facilitation course like this one. When participants don't understand the amount of time required for the course, that also doesn't work. When you say 8 to 10 hours, most of them don't understand the amount of time that would be needed to complete this, especially if you're a serious participant. So if participants always think, oh, we can do it in 3 hours in a week or 4 hours in a week, then when they get on, they get very frustrated. So it's important to say that at the beginning. Internet connection and bandwidth. The assignments or the things that need to be downloaded have to be, that can be gotten by someone with a small bandwidth or internet connection that works. So it is very important to make sure that whatever you share is there. Or the participant need to understand that internet connection has to be good. Or not most of it, but not all the time, but most of the time. Over supporting the participants is unrealistic and unsustainable. You have to let the participants know that they can do this by themselves at one point, because if you keep on supporting them, then they will not understand how it is to support others. So it's very important to do that. Completion of course rate. Of course, we want 100% all the time, but it is not possible to have 100%. There's someone with a sick child, there's someone who is sick, there's someone who is traveling, there's someone with bad internet connection, and there's just someone who just finds that this is not the kind of thing they were thinking. So the completion rate is not always 100%. Most of the courses are not accessible by mobile apps or mobile gadgets. It is very important. We have to be able to access our courses or at least read the assignments or something on our mobile phones. This way then you get everybody engaged. And of course, plagiarism, what we call cut and paste, is also another problem. But there you have to use a few, you have to actually inform your participants about this. And also I know quite a number of organizations or institutions that have the software that picks up this. So those are the things that we picked up that really affect an online facilitation course. Over to you, Kath. We have about 7 minutes. Let's see how we are going to do. Over to you, Kath. Thank you.
Thanks, Irene. Yeah, so basically, as we said, the next run of this facilitating online course is coming up soon, and there is a link pasted in the note area at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and the course is going to be running from the 26th of September to the 18th of November, and we would really encourage you to apply or forward this information on to people who you think it may be of interest to, and get them to apply, because the application deadline is actually looming. It is the 12th of September. And just to let you know that Emerge Africa does have a YouTube channel where you can see the latest recordings and subscribe to this channel to keep in the know as to what's happening. They also have a very active Facebook page where all the latest information is pasted. So if you like being kept updated via your Facebook, this is a great group to join. And there is also a Twitter page as well. So if you like bite-sized chunks of information and you are on Twitter, please follow Emerge Africa. The links are here on the screen, and keep updated that way as well. So thank you very much for joining us today as we wrap up our presentation. And we would like to hand the floor over to you if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or Irene, or even Tony and Nicola, who are also here. The floor is over to you. Thank you very much. Right, so Orville is saying that one thing that was learned along the way is to keep the student in mind when developing courses. So that is, of course, key. And a unique aspect of this particular course is that all the facilitators who are on this course have actually run through this course as students themselves. So they know exactly what it's like to have all those tasks piling up in your mailbox and deadlines looming, but then you still need to make supper, sweep the floor, and do the laundry, and then drive 3 people to ballet classes. So definitely to have that insight as to how the course runs as a student is key. Right, Collins is saying, when should one start the registration? Are you meaning to register for this particular upcoming run of the course, or are you talking about in general, if you are offering an online course, how long in advance and by what means should you offer it, and the registration period? Right, Panina is saying, how do you track achievement of competencies? Okay, so we mentioned that we do have various activities. Each day we have activities which we communicate to them both within the course site, and we give them reminders, as Irene said, via the announcements. And we require them, we give them a task, and we make sure that they do that task, whether it is creating a personal development plan, or whether it is starting a topic in a forum, or whether it's contributing their ideas, or whether it's creating an online activity. And then we track all of those in a spreadsheet, which we then turn into weekly progress reports. And overall, we use that as a tracking mechanism to make sure that they've met the minimum requirements, which is completion of 75% of all the activities, and also complete compliance with doing all the mandatory activities. There's certain activities that they have to do. Okay, Collins, if you would like to register for the upcoming run of the Facilitating Online course, there are some details in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen where you can find the application page and the other documents that you need to add to your application as well. Right, so Orville is also saying, what type of capabilities do most African universities have at delivering online courses? And that will be important for your course participants. Yes, that is a consideration. That's why also we make the requirements blatant up front. So in terms of what you need as a device and the connectivity, remember the 3 T's and time, as well as the skills, the basic skills that you would require in order to participate successfully within this course. Right, Tony, thank you for pasting the URL to the applications for this final run of the Facilitating Online course. So if anybody would be keen on following that up, Tony has pasted the URL there for you. And remember to go to the Facebook page or Twitter and or the YouTube channel to keep updated of current eMERGE activities. Right. If there are no more questions, I would like to hand over to Nicola just to wrap up this session. Thank you.
Thanks a million, Kath and Irene. That has been absolutely amazing. I mean, I couldn't have explained it better. And I think you provided a really nice holistic overview. We're having a lot of really interesting questions coming through, though. So I wonder if we just want to take these here. So Alex has a really interesting one about supporting teams of vocational education teachers across institutions in Mozambique, developing courses. Said he's not sure if there would be interest or a language barrier for them to gain expertise from this course. I think we've had a lot of people on the course whose first language is not English. I'd say the majority, in fact. But if they're second language English speaker, I think that they would be fine. And sometimes it's just about being on an online course with a diverse range of people. That is a learning experience in itself. Yeah, and as Tony mentioned, it's not really like, this is quite a small, I think our largest number of people was in the 60s. So that's on the run of the course. So that's nowhere near to, your MOOCs, the scale of MOOCs. Yeah, and Barbara mentions 3,200. Wow. Okay, and your question about facilitating online courses for such large classes is something that has come up in South African universities as well, because we've had people from UNISA, which is University of South Africa, who have distance learning programs, and I know this is a big, a common issue, because we all know massification of higher education is a pressing issue in our country, in a lot of contexts. I'm just going to continue typing in the text chat. If one of perhaps Tony, would you like to say a few words?
I certainly it's worth being silent the rest of the time. I think it's been really interesting to hear members of the team present on online facilitating. I've never been to one of your presentations before, and I really thought you were to the point and very articulate, and yeah, some good explication of the course there. Barbara, I think you presented something really interesting there. And I think what you're really looking at is a combination of very strategic online facilitation by facilitators or tutors, together with ways of supporting peer learning and peer engagement. And what they do in the MOOCs a lot is to involve people in periodic assessment exercises that require peer assessment and people to engage with each other around the assessment. And that might be one of the strategies that you could use. Okay, while still at the mic, I think what's interesting also is that our facilitating online course is attracting people with different levels of expertise and often with a lot of expertise in their work as educators and course designers and course leaders. And what that means is that being on the course is an opportunity to learn not just from the course leaders, but also from your peers on the course, and to develop networks of mutual support and engagement, which can be useful to you in your career for years afterwards.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly respond to an interesting point raised by Barbara, who says she presumes that peer-based model has implication on course design. Okay, so Different courses might emphasize different things. With online courses, learning design is always key. We've adapted Julie Salmon's 5-stage model. I mean, beliefs about learning always come into it. And how do we believe adults learn? Or how do we believe that adults might learn best? How to facilitate online best? Well, through having experiences. Experiential learning, learning through peers. Okay, so we have, that's why our course principles are around playful learning, reflective learning. Yeah, but I mean, if you're teaching a very large undergraduate classroom, how those students might learn best might look very different. Okay, but yeah, thanks for all the very stimulating and interesting questions. We're going to have to say goodbye, but we look forward to keeping in touch. Yeah, you can join the Facebook group, sign up for Emerge Africa. Even, you can join the course, but you can also just be part of our community. So if you go to the website, emergeafrica.net, and on the right-hand side, you'll see a sign up. You just add your name, last name, and email address, and you'll receive our newsletters. There are many exciting events happening all the time. There's actually one this week on online quality assurance. The webinar, there's another one again tomorrow. And then there's also a Twitter chat with the AECT. Let me just share a link on that, and that's happening tomorrow. And I think folks here might find that very fascinating because it's on professional development. How can we use social media for professional development and collaboration? And this has really been key to our team. So let me just paste in the details. I'm glad you enjoyed the session. And also, if you're interested, our course leaders guide is available as an OER. It's what we do. We're all into sharing, and openness is very important to us. You can access it here. But as we mentioned, it's very hard to learn about online facilitation through face-to-face or through a book. So we really invite people to go through the process themselves. Yeah, so hope to see you again, and have a great day all. So the download link is that Open UCT for the course leaders guide. The link is there. I can also give you the PDF, which is this one. And also, last but not least, thank you to Kath and Irene and to Penina for the wonderful opportunity. Bye, everyone.